It is a rainy, cloudy summer day, so I figured now is the perfect time to start reading a new book. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you already know from the title of this video, I am going to be rereading one of my favorite book series of all time, and I'm really looking forward to it. So the book series that I'm going to be reading is the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer, which I read quite a few years ago, actually. I remember I got the box set for Christmas one year from my stepmom's family, and then I just never read the books. And then when I was in North Carolina, maybe like 2-3 years ago, visiting my brother before he got deployed, my dad was there and he brought me these books that I had left at his house, and since I had nothing else to read, I decided to read them, and I fell in love with them immediately. For those of you who don't know, the Lunar Chronicles is a relatively older book series. I think the first book, Cinder, was published in 2012. It fits perfectly with the YA dystopian genre of the time, and it is a retelling of classic fairy tales. And the first book, Cinder, of course, is a retelling of Cinderella, where the main character, Cinderella, is a cyborg. A couple weeks ago, I was at the bookstore with my grandmother, and they had a special edition signed copy of Cinder, which she bought for me, which is really great. And ever since I saw that and that I've had that, I've just really wanted to reread the series. But the only problem is that I don't have those books here in Washington with me. They're all still in Florida, and it's just too expensive to ask my mom to mail them to me. So instead, I went ahead and I ordered new copies online. So I have the new cover for Cinder. All of my Lunar Chronicles books in Florida are the original covers, so I went ahead and bought the new editions, and look how pretty she is. I literally love her so much. I'm so excited. I also bought a new copy because even though I have the collector's edition or special edition of Cinder, I really wanted to annotate and tab these books this time because I didn't do that last time. I might have annotated them, as in like I think I probably highlighted some things, but I wanted to go all out with these ones, and I didn't want to do that to my special edition copy, so I just bought a new copy on Amazon, and I'm very excited. You can see I have one little tab in there. I read the first chapter so far, and now I'm going to continue reading, and I will keep you guys updated as I go along. Hello again. It is now the next morning. I am almost halfway through Cinder, and boy do I have an update. So just a fair warning, this video will include spoilers because I've already read this book and I want to discuss it. So I am currently on chapter 20 of this book. I just got to the part where Queen Lavanna lands in the Eastern Commonwealth, like just now, like I just read that part. And I need to talk about a few things before I continue. So I completely forgot that one of like the main plot points of this book series is that there's a plague going on, letumosis, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but there's a plague that's killing everyone and has infected the Emperor as well as Peony, which is Cinder's nice stepsister, right? And I don't know, it's really interesting to read, like reread that kind of stuff, especially, of course, after like going through a pandemic myself and still going through a pandemic. It's just all really interesting to read about and think about how they're handling it, and like how it's being viewed and how it's being written about. Not like negatively affecting me or triggering me in any way. It's just kind of, I don't know, it's food for thought, I suppose. But yeah, not a whole lot has happened so far in the book, other than we know that Cinder is lunar. And I forgot that we figured that out so soon in the series. I don't know why, but I thought that that was something that came about in book 3 or 4, like in Cress or Winter, but it happened now. And it makes sense, like it makes perfect sense. It was a plot point that I thought I was gonna see later on, but whatever. Reading this is making me feel so embarrassed because I genuinely don't understand how I didn't pick up on Cinder being Princess Celine so fast. Like, granted, I read this book a long time ago. Well, it was like 3 years ago, and I don't know, I just rereading it now, I'm just kind of really shocked and disappointed in myself for not seeing that plot point sooner, because it's so obvious, especially if you read a lot of fantasy and you know like the tropes and the archetypes of like the lost princess. So I'm a little embarrassed about that, but yeah, I just keep marking these foreshadows and laughing. So I finished it. Okay. I don't know how to feel. So, spoiler warning. The book ends with Dr. Erland, telling Cinder that she's Princess Celine, right? Big surprise. We kind of saw that coming, I suppose. And then giving her the tools to escape from her prison cell. And that's just, it's another thing that I forgot is revealed so early on in the series, but it makes perfect sense. Like, why wouldn't it be revealed like right away that she's Princess Celine? Like, that's kind of like the whole point. I don't know, I'm still kind of distraught from obviously the ball scene and Prince Kai, and he finds out she's a cyborg, and he picks up her little tiny cyborg foot in true Cinderella Prince Charming fashion, and then he fucking says, hold on, where is it? Because this hurt me. You're even more painful to look at than she is. I'm not okay. I'm not gonna recover from that. That hurts. Like, that hurts. I can't, I really can't. So, I finished this a lot faster than I was expecting to be honest with you. And I don't have Scarlet yet. I haven't, it's in my Amazon cart. I was prepared to order it, and I could order it on Amazon and it would be here tomorrow, but tomorrow is not soon enough. Tomorrow is not soon enough at all. So I'm going to go to the bookstore right now, and I'm going to go buy Scarlet. I might just buy the rest of the books. I might just buy the last 3, depending on how I'm feeling. But yeah, I can't wait any longer. I need to start it because I'm frustrated. I'm so frustrated. And also, like, I want to hurry up and read Scarlet because it was my least favorite of all of the books, so I need to get it out of the way. here. I went to the university bookstore and I found Scarlet. I found the book that I needed. It was more expensive at the bookstore than it was on Amazon. I believe on Amazon they were $7 and some change, and then at the bookstore they were $11. But it's okay, it's no biggie. I used my student discount and got a couple cents off, so it's fine. Yeah, so I got Scarlet, and then I bought a book for my nephew's birthday party that I'm going to tomorrow. I got a little dinosaur book for him. He loves dinosaurs. And then I bought 2 new candles because, like, regular just candles for the house, because the apartment definitely needs some candle situation going on. So yeah, and then I decided that I was going to treat myself, so I got boba and I got a bubble waffle for the first time. I see them everywhere. Most boba places that I've been to that are near me, at least in Seattle, have like the little bubble waffle things, and I'd never had one, so I bought one to try. And it's actually pretty good. The waffles are pretty big, like a lot bigger than I was expecting them to be, but it's okay, it's not a big deal. But yeah, they're pretty good. They're really sweet, at least for me. I don't have much of a sweet tooth. But yeah, so I'm gonna sit down with my boba and my bubble waffle, and I'm going to start reading Scarlet. But I do remember that Scarlet was probably my least favorite book in the Lunar Chronicles. I'm sorry if Scarlet is your favorite, but it just was not my favorite book. I still liked it. I still really enjoyed it. But comparatively, it was not my favorite. But I feel like, honestly, that's just kind of a theme with YA book series, or just book series in general. The second book isn't usually as good as the first book, and I feel like the second book is quite often ends up being the least favorite for some people. I don't know, it's just kind of a pattern that I've noticed. I do want to say, though, one thing about the romance in this book between Scarlet and the guy, what's his name? Is it Wolf? Yeah, it's Wolf. I thought that I made that up in my brain, but no, it's Wolf. When I first read this book, I was reading it and I actually quite enjoyed the romance in it, and like I really liked it. But I remember, like, as I was reading it, I was surprised that I liked the romance because it was very insta-lovey, which is totally okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with insta-love as long as it's done well, in my opinion. I'm personally a slow burn kind of gal, but whatever. And I just remember thinking while I was reading, I was like, wow, like, I'm surprised that I'm really genuinely enjoying all of these insta-lovey tropes, because I usually don't. But then again, I was definitely in a place at the time that I read this book for the first time where I kind of needed something insta-lovey, like, to cheer me up, I suppose. So it kind of worked out. We'll see how I feel about it through this read around. I might love it, I might think it's super cute, or I might get really bored of it, but we shall see. We just met the infamous Carswell Thorne. He's like my favorite character. I'm literally so happy. So I just finished chapter 4 of Scarlet. So far we have met the main character of this book, Scarlet, and we have met Wolf, and we have officially just met Thorne. Oh, okay, there's a lot that I have to say about this. Okay, so first I want to talk about Thorne because he is my favorite character in this whole series. He's just, I don't know, I just love me a good comedic relief character. He's amazing. I don't remember much about him except for just very brief stuff that we learned about him in Cress. But I just read his point of view in chapter 4 for the first time, or like the first point of view that we get from him, and I love it. He's just so funny and he's so flirty, and he's just such a good character, and I'm so excited to see him and Cinder break out of prison together, and I'm just excited. Like, things are, the story feels like it's kind of picking up, it's starting, I suppose. Okay, so I am now on chapter 15. I stayed up kind of late last night reading, and there's a couple of things that I want to say. I have a couple notes, I suppose. First, I want to talk about Scarlet and Wolf's characters for a second, because I like them a lot more than I remember liking them. Now, just to kind of give you guys an idea of where I'm at, I last left off with Scarlet and Wolf, where Wolf came to the farmhouse and then everything kind of happened with her dad, and Wolf agreed to help her look for her grandma. That's where I left off with them. But I don't know, like nothing romantic has happened yet. Anything along those lines have happened. Scarlet is still very angry with him and she just doesn't trust him. But I like their characters now a lot more than I remember liking them the first time that I read this series. And I don't know why that is. Maybe I just have more of an appreciation for the writing and how these characters are written. I don't know, but I really like them. I like Scarlet. Again, I think I've mentioned this before, but I just really appreciate the fact that every character in this novel is so unique and different, and they all bring something different to the table that's needed in these books. And I know that's kind of like such a bare minimum thing to have, but it can be pretty difficult to have such a big cast of characters and have all of them be their own individual people. And I guess maybe as a writer who also has a very large cast of characters, I'm just coming to appreciate it more. I also want to say that I like Wolf's character so far a lot more than I remember liking him, just in general. He's also a lot softer than I remember him being. He's not as gruff, I feel like, as my memory has painted him. I don't know if that'll change as I continue on, but yeah, I'm really liking them, and I'm excited to see where this continues. I also want to say I have notes on Queen Levana's character and just her as a villain, because I just really appreciate her as a villain, I guess. I don't know, I feel like a lot of times in fantasy novels and series especially, I feel like I can get to the point where I'm like, this villain isn't even that scary. They aren't that threatening. They aren't, like, we could be doing better. There are things that we could be doing to solve our problems so much faster. I guess, like, I'm not frustrated. I mean, okay, I'm frustrated with her because she's pissing me off, but I'm not frustrated with the characters for how they're dealing with everything. For example, in Cinder, at the very end of the book, when Queen Levana is kind of trying to control Cinder, she's controlling Cinder and trying to get her to, shoot herself, and Cinder doesn't. She just kind of points the gun and shoots elsewhere. And when that was happening, like, in my head, I was like, shoot the queen, like, shoot her, you have the gun. And Cinder tries to, and Queen Levana mind controls a guard to jump in front of her. So, like, it's intense because all of these characters are doing everything within their power to stop her, and she's just genuinely too powerful. She's too smart. And it pisses me off. Like, it makes me so angry, but I love it. Like, I appreciate that she's a good villain. But yeah, anyway, that's all the notes that I have for now. I'm gonna continue reading. I do have a pretty busy day today. I have to drive a couple hours to go to my nephew's birthday party, which I'm kind of excited about. So I probably won't get to do that much reading today, but I'm gonna read as much as I possibly can because it's getting good. And I've also kind of fallen into that pattern of, I really enjoy Scarlet's point of view and like her story, but every time she comes up, I'm kind of like, where's Cinder? Where's Kai? Like, I want their storyline too. And I'm trying so hard not to be annoying, and I'm trying to appreciate Scarlet's storyline like I didn't before, but it's difficult. I'm finding myself kind of just wanting more Cinder, wanting more Thorn. I love him. Okay, so I am currently on chapter 37. I haven't started chapter 37. That's where I left off. I'm I'm almost done with this book, and thankfully I had enough forethought this time to order cress before I finished it, because I knew that I was going to finish it really quickly. I ordered it through Amazon. It should be here today. It should be here soon, actually, so by the time I finish it, hopefully I will already have cress in my hands. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit. So it has been revealed that Wolf was kind of playing Scarlet the whole time, kind of, in a way. And it's just, once that was revealed, it was one of those things that, like, how did I not see that coming when I first read this series? Because I knew it was gonna happen, kind of. I kind of forgot. I forgot that he was kind of double-crossing Scarlet in this book, until they got to where they were keeping her grandma, and I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna kind of hand her over, but it's not, he doesn't really want to. He's still on Scarlet's side for the most part. He's just still caught in between, like, which path he wants to take, I suppose. But I completely forgot about that. And as soon as I read that, I just, like, how did I not see this coming? How, I think, again, I read these books quite a long time ago, but I don't remember catching on to the fact that Wolf was one of the lunar operatives that we kind of saw from book 1, where Kai is in his meeting with all the world leaders. They look at satellite footage, I think, and they see the lunar operatives, the wolves, kind of lined up in military formation, and they're like, oh shit, like, this is a warning, we're seeing this for a reason type shit. And, like, how did I not pick up on that when I was reading the first time? Like, oh, this wolf character with his little serial number tattooed on his arm obviously is a bad guy, and obviously is one of those wolves that we saw in the last book. I don't know, maybe it was because it just was so long between when I read the 2 books that I completely forgot about it. I don't know, maybe I am just picking up on these things a lot easier because I'm reading them back to back. But right now, the lunar operatives that are stationed on Earth are going berserk. They're going crazy. They're attacking everyone. Cinder and Thorn are currently being attacked. And yeah, I don't know. I also forgot that this happens. So I'm a little stressed. I don't know. That's how you know that this is a good book series, because even though I've read it and I know for the most part what happens, like, it's still stressing me out. Like, these stakes are still stressing me. I don't know. It's a really good book series, and I'm going to continue reading it. What I wanted to make is, I've also been listening to the audiobook for Scarlet because I wasn't at home yesterday. I was out of town. I was a couple hours away. So when I was driving back and forth from Seattle to Olympia, where I was yesterday, I downloaded the audiobook because I couldn't not listen to it. Like, I wanted to read so badly, so I just listened to the audiobook while I was driving. And because I was a little bit anxious and stressed yesterday, and I just needed a distraction so badly, and music was just not cutting it for me, so I needed to listen to the audiobook. And yeah, I don't know how to feel about the audiobook for Scarlet. I'm pretty sure, I don't know for sure, but because this is an older book series, I think, like, the audiobook itself is also relatively older. And I don't know. When I first started listening to it, I didn't really like it. I didn't like the voice for the audiobook narrator. I just feel like she was a little too monotone, I guess. But I've come to appreciate it more. I've come to like it more. She does, everyone's voice, like, speaking voice, is just a little bit different, which I quite like and quite appreciate. I don't know, maybe my thoughts will change as I continue listening to it, but yeah. The grandma is dead.
It's not funny. I'm not laughing because it's funny. She's dead. No. I'm not okay. I'm reading alongside the audiobook. I'm listening to the audiobook and reading along because I do that sometimes. And I changed my mind about what I said earlier about the audiobook narrator being too monotone. Because if I was reading this for the first time and like listening to the audiobook as I'm doing now, if this was all my first time enjoying this story, I would probably be crying right now because of this freaking audiobook narrator. Like, just like when she does the dialogue and the characters' voices, it's heartbreaking. Like I would be crying right now. To be honest, I'm surprised that I'm not crying right now. Okay, well, I just finished Scarlet. Oh my god, I can't even talk right now. And I don't know. So we left off with the cat is out of the bag, okay? Cinder is revealed to everyone in the crew so far that she is indeed Princess Celine. And yeah, and Wolf was like, oh, sorry, my cat's attacking something on the window. And Wolf was like, oh, well, clearly you're incredibly powerful. No wonder Queen Lavanna is afraid of you. Let me train you to use your lunar gift. And Cinder is basically like, okay, I'm gonna get Wolf to train me, and then we're gonna find the girl with the decom chip. So basically, Cinder ends by saying, I'm gonna do all this. We're gonna find Cress, although we don't know that it's Cress yet. And ta-da. Yeah. This book feels a lot more resolved than Cinder did, which I appreciate. But yeah, there is one thing that I did want to talk about, kind of, was the second to last chapter where Scarlet and Wolf are in the galley eating canned vegetables and talking. And it's a very cute moment, but it's also so cringy to me to read. Scarlet is basically saying, oh, well, like, I'm not afraid of you because you, like, your instincts to protect me were stronger than your instincts to eat me, to kill me, right? And she's basically trying to explain to Wolf that maybe the animal instinct of loyalty was stronger than the animal instinct of destruction, I suppose. I can't, oh my god. And Scarlet is talking about how, like, well, wolves are monogamous creatures, so maybe you just need to find your alpha female. And then Wolf is like, well, maybe you're my alpha female, blah, blah, blah. And it's cute and gushy, but also so gross. I don't know. Maybe it's just because of, like, the current climate around alpha males, I guess, as, like, a concept. But it's just ick. It's icky, it's gross, it's funny. It's more funny than cute to me. And I think I kind of felt this way when I first read it too. I was like, ooh, that's gross. I'm not a fan of it. But it's still, like, it's cute. And it fits, like, it fits the archetype, it fits the trope, it fits the relationship. So it's not just, like, weird, I suppose, but it's still kind of weird to me. And again, it all, like, the relationship between Scarlet and Wolf is very insta-lovey, but both of the characters and the author are very self-aware of the fact that it's insta-lovey. And I guess it makes a lot of sense for them to have that kind of relationship in this book, because Wolf needed to, like, they needed to have that trust and that connection established in order for Wolf to be able to betray her, I suppose, and for like this whole situation between them to make sense. So it fits, like it makes perfect sense. It follows the storyline very well. It's pretty well done. And again, they're very self-aware. Like while they're having this alpha male, alpha female conversation, Wolf is also like, I know we've literally only known each other for a week, but like, I feel this, you feel this, let's be alpha mates. Ew. But whatever. I appreciate the fact that it's self-aware, and the fact that it is self-aware makes it less cringy. It makes it more enjoyable to read. But yeah, so that's kind of where we left off. That's my main thought ending this book, is the weird alpha thing, but it's not that big of a deal. It's not a deal breaker to me. So now that I finished Scarlet, I can go ahead and start reading Cress. My Amazon package was delivered, so I have to go down to a little Amazon place in my apartment to go pick it up, and then I can start reading. So yeah, I'm very excited.